If purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Pew pew. I always wanted to do something like that, you know. But anyway, welcome again to another episode, another mind transforming session. Again, as always, we are really grateful for all the feedback we are getting, and it's really encouraging to come and really do these shoots to really help encourage you, the young ones, and even adults who may be struggling with different issues in their life. Today, we're taking I want to say different spin, but we're taking more like a personal spin in addressing an issue that affects everyone. And you'll realize that most of the issues we talk about, it affects everyone. And today I want to start with the whole idea of self-esteem. Yes, self-esteem. Now, self-esteem affects men and women in different ways. It affects men totally different how it affects a female. And self-esteem has a lot to do with a person's identity of themselves. And you would realize that when a person has an unhealthy concept of themselves, an unhealthy view of themselves, things like depression, things like suicide, all these things are factors that come into it. So you'd realize that we would have dealt with the whole idea of depression, we would have talked about suicide. What I wanted to deal with is the whole concept of self-esteem, your self-worth. And it takes me back to my personal story where very small, very, very small. I think I would have been about 6 or 7. I was told I was an ugly child. Yes, I was told I was an ugly child. And trust me, the effects of that, even today, sometimes you see it. And the amazing thing is that there are a lot of people who walk around in our world who struggle with this, but don't say anything. Some would say, but you got married, you have children, why would you still struggle with it? The thing is, some people think that self-esteem sometimes mostly have to do with your outward. But even sometimes, what mainly you're affected by is that you want person's approval so much of you that you literally neglect yourself, understanding you, and you become someone that everybody, you believe everybody would like. Here's your reality check. No matter how much you try to be what everybody likes, you're not going to be liked by everybody. And that's the reality of life. Your self-esteem is not tied to the person who God also created just like you. And this is the funny thing about it. God created all of us. And imagine the person who God created is telling you they have more value than you. That making sense? There's a good time for the meme to come in. That making sense? No, think about it. That really making sense? God created you and I. And you are putting to me that you have more worth than me. The truth is, the scripture says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Every individual has been created with worth. And the thing is, to allow someone to determine, to signify that your worth is not as great as them, just goes to show how much they themselves don't understand themselves. They need to belittle somebody in order for them to feel good. Self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, doesn't make you feel you're better than someone. It helps you to realize there are things you will not do and there are things that you would do. You become confident in terms of how you approach life. You become confident in how you handle situations. You become confident in how you deal with people. You see, the thing is, I grew up thinking that the only way people would like me is doing everything that they want. I remember my daughter, Kyra, if she only knew her call, she didn't want this, I would get in trouble. She came home one day from school and said that her friends are not playing with her, and one said if she didn't give her the crayon, she wouldn't be her friend. And even from small, you see, these things could affect a child's psyche about how they view themselves. So I had to sit down and let her know, if someone has to use crayons or someone has to use their friendship with you in order for them to feel good, they have to belittle you and they have to make you feel smaller. That is not a friend. That person don't have your best interest at heart. So in looking at self-esteem, one have to realize that first thing first, a person cannot determine your worth by their view of worth. Your worth is determined by the person who created you. And that is where you have to find yourself. That is where you have to connect yourself to. Connect yourself to the person who created you, not to the person who was created by the creator. That doesn't make any sense at all. Good plug for the meme to come in again. It don't make any sense, right? So in your development, realize that your self-esteem, you need to check it. You need to check and see exactly how do you view yourself. Ask yourself, are you doing the job that you want to do, or are you doing the job that everybody wants you to do? Did you become a pastor because everybody find you look like a pastor or talk like a pastor? Or did you become a pastor because God wanted you to become a pastor? These are questions you need to ask yourself every day, because I am sure a lot of us are doing things that other people would like to see us do. And we are not doing what God called us to do. And that is how serious this self-esteem is. Most of us are living our lives based on somebody's idea of how our life is supposed to be. 1 Corinthians 2 says, no eye have seen and no ear has heard what God has given to man. You have to find God himself. You have to connect to him yourself. So as we go forward in this journey, you will realize that most of what we are tackling and what we want to aim at is helping a person have a better value system, a healthy value system of themselves. So even though I would say I'm a recovering addict. I want to make sure I say the right thing, but I'm a person, I could say very boldly, I am recovering, I am learning how to have a healthy self-esteem of myself. I am learning how to love me. And when you learn how to love you, trust me, it changes your perspective on a lot of people around you. Yeah, and what you would realize is that your circle becomes very small, because you realize that the people who really, truly care about you don't try to belittle you to make themselves feel better. So again, if purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.